Good morning, it's 9 o'clock. I will call the meeting to order. We will convene first as drainage trustees. Rick, just want to verify that you can hear us, and Betty, that you can hear us.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hi, Dean. I can hear you.
okay, great. Okay, moving down to item 4, review and sign any open drainage invoices. That is the only business we have as drainage trustees. We have an invoice for Drainage District 187 Lateral G, which is located in Section 5 of Vernon Township. And I've signed this. This is for $4,965. It's for a repair. There were 2 suck holes in a grass CRP section that the district tile runs through. And so they have, it is from the tile pros, and they have repaired it and completed the work. I would accept the motion to approve the invoice as presented.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Betty, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. We shall, anything else for us? Okay, we will adjourn as the drainage trustees and reconvene as the board of supervisors. You have the agenda before you.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. Ms. Nessino, if you would please read the minutes of last week's meeting.
February 10th, 2025. Chairman Pro Tem Clues called the regular meeting of the Wright County Board of Supervisors to order at 9:01 a.m. Members present were Clues, Bosch, and Lukes, with Rasmussen and Ellis present via Zoom. Motion by Bosch, seconded by Lukes to approve the tentative agenda. Motion carries. Minutes of the previous regular meeting of February 3rd, 2025 were read and approved. Approved claims for payment. Adam Clemens, Wright County Engineer, gave an update on Secondary Roads Department. Motion by Bosch, second by Lukes, to receive the January monthly revenue report from the Wright County Sheriff. Motion carries. Wright County Treasurer, Sheriff, and Recorder all requested wage increases for certain employees within their offices. The Treasurer is requesting $1,000 for Amy Kruger, bringing her annual salary to $49,313.39. The Sheriff is requesting $2,600 for Office Manager Brenda Majerus, bringing her annual salary to $53,947.56. And the Recorder is requesting $1,500 for Jennifer Hogriff, bringing her salary to $51,500. Motion by Ellis, seconded by Bosch, to approve the wage increases as presented, effective immediately. Motion carries. Motion by Rasmussen, second by Lukes, to approve the liquor license for Oak Ridge Recreation in Goldfield. Motion carries. Motion by Rasmussen, second by Bosch, to approve resolution 2025-08, treasurer naming depositories. By roll call, ayes: Ellis, Lukes, Rasmussen, Bosch, and Clues. Nays, none. Resolution 2025-08 duly passes and reads as follows. Motion by Rasmussen, second by Lukes, to receive the budget amendment documents for fiscal year ending 2025. Motion carries. Motion by Lukes and seconded by Rasmussen to set the budget amendment hearing for March 3rd, 2025 at 9:30 a.m. Motion carries. Motion by Lukes and seconded by Bosch to adjourn the meeting. Motion carries.
Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, they'll stand approved as presented. Claims have been around and have been signed. Item number 9, Adam Clemens, Wright County Engineer, Secondary Roads Update.
What about 8?
Hey, what was it? Oh, excuse me. Hang on just a second, Adam. I'm sorry. Open forum for public input. Thank you. Item number 8, open forum for public input. Is there anybody, online that would like to address the board? Okay, Adam, you're up. Item
Yeah,
number 9.
that's fine. So a little update, blades and trucks, sundry last week and also, plowing snow. We had some snow events. Completed 10 work orders last week. Kind of inside stuff. There was a couple right away ditches, but repairs and signs and, mainly working inside because of the cold weather. Weather last week, we had quite a bit of, responses. Light snow Monday, Tuesday, didn't take any action. Wednesday, morning snowfall, all day event, trucks all day, no motor graders. Then the next day, all personnel at 5 a.m. Went out and tried to push back any finger drifts. The guys were, they could drive 3-4 miles on the gravels and then find something that needed to push back. So it was kind of chasing those finger drifts. Friday PM, we went out till, did a round at 3:30 and stayed late. We have that ability inside the ordinance to do so. Whenever we do go outside of the ordinance, if that's something you guys would like to review, I can get you a copy of it. But we document the why, okay? Because I think our ordinance says like 7 to 4 or 4:30. So if we come in early, 5, or go late, we document that we went outside your law, essentially. So that there's economic benefit or disaster or something like that. So it's documented every time. Saturday, we didn't have any of the motor graders go out. It was a little later in the day when they started because it didn't hit. We didn't go right out and do it. So trucks, just all day on hard surface, blowing and drifting. And then I'll give you kind of an update. Sunday, we had our motor graders and the trucks go out. Open up what we could. It was blowing pretty good that day. So anything we did open up on Sunday, it kind of blew back in behind us. We kind of knew that was going to happen. So it's just the battle we go through. And then Monday, we just had motor graders out. So we didn't have any trucks. So,
Very good.
construction wise, C70 bridge, or the Boss Quarry Bridge, they pounded piling. We had 3 piling that did not make, bearing last week, so they had to do a weld on and then retapped them. They did make bearing finally. They were going to pour, but we reviewed the specifications and didn't think it was very smart for them to pour when it was that cold on Friday. So they decided that they're not going to come in this week because it is so cold. They could only get 2 vehicles started last week on Friday. So with it being -40, they're not going to probably get anything started. So they're going to look at pouring the east pier, kind of the pier cap, pier bottom footing next Monday or Tuesday. So when we get some
Should have great weather for it.
Yes, yeah. It's if it gets above 40, they don't have to consult with me, the engineer. So they can do it as long as they wrap it and keep it warm for a certain amount of time so that it cures properly. So they're actually going to put probes in and they'll give us a graph of the temperature of the concrete.
Right.
It creates its own concrete or its own temp, but we didn't feel like it would, with it being -degree temperatures overnight, that it wouldn't have.
Makes sense.
And we consulted with the DOT, the structural engineer. We have a gentleman at the DOT who's a very good concrete guy, and kind of said, hey, the DOT is going through this right now, that they might have to, like on one of these caps or these footings, tear it all out.
Yeah.
Because they got too cold during that. So I was like, it's not worth the risk. We're not charging days until a specific point.
Yeah.
They're not losing any days. We're not rushed to get this done.
So let's do it right.
Yep. Yeah, so they were in agreement with that. So
Good.
that's all I have. Any questions?
Okay,
Thank you.
All right, old business or meetings. I guess old business that I had a question for you, Betty. In the email exchange concerning HH requests for our mental health records. Do you have any information to share with the board at this time?
Yes, I contacted Jen Sheehan last week after we had our Zoom meeting with Ashley and Humboldt, Pocahontas and Webster, I believe it was, and the mental health advocate, Kathy Erickson. so the new behavioral health administrative service organization is going to be taking over the mental health portion of it, but the developmental disabilities will stay with our region. So they're creating 70 districts throughout the state, and they're peeling off the, what was once called mental health developmental disabilities with the CICS, with the region we're in. They're peeling off the mental health portion of it, and the mental health advocates go with that, and then developmental disability stays with our region. So what the letter is requesting is through the advocates. We are the employer of record, not Wright County, but Humboldt County is the employer of record for the advocate. And there's 4 of us through a 28E that joined that and is with that advocate. She takes care of Wright County and the CICS in Rolling Hills pays her or reimburses Humboldt County for being the fiscal agent on employer of record, I should say. So the question is being the employer of record for the mental health advocate, behavioral health advocate, are we the custodians of that information, or is CICS and Rolling Hills still the custodians of that record? And so when I get back Thursday, then I plan on reading the 28E agreements that we have both with CICS and with Humboldt as the mental health advocate employer of record, to see what those records say. Russell Wood has responded back to an email, and he said that I can Russell's email states, your county received a request from ISAC to give them permission to release information that you have in CSN to the Iowa Department of Health and Human Services. The change in mental health developmental services regions has resulted in a request by HHS for information that regions have in CSN. ISAC identified that the information for mental health advocates is not the property of the regions, but is the property of counties, as counties employ advocates. I have attached the conversation about the information that may be provided some clarity. CICS is not the custodian or owner of commitment data, and I cannot advise you on if you should sign the release. You may want to talk to your county attorney and mental health advocate for guidance. So it's something that we are going to be having to do a little bit more research on as to who is the custodian of that information. And then also, when we do sign a release, we have to be aware that general assistance is keyed into the CSN, and that we don't want to release any of the general assistance information if we do sign the release. So
okay.
That's what I have so far, and requested that maybe if Russell Wood has time, who is our region's director, to come and visit with the Board of Supervisors.
Okay. Thank you for looking into that.
Do you still want it on the agenda for next week to discuss it?
No, I don't think so.
I couldn't hear what she said.
You want it on the agenda for next week to discuss it?
I asked that it not be on the agenda next week, that we wait and get something set up, and then we will notify them when we want it on the agenda.
That sounds good.
Okay. And then, what else do we have?
Ashley, did that kind of sum up what you got out of the meeting? And
Yeah, they
It
highly
was-
encourage you to talk to legal counsel about it.
Okay.
Forward the document on to legal counsel and.
Okay, so one of the questions that I have is, Jen Sheehan at one time was the mental health advocate for Wright County. We've gone into a 28E agreement. So the records that previously we held and we were the custodians of, did those all go to Humboldt under the 28E agreement, or the date of the signing of the 28E agreement, they have those records, and we may also have some records that they will be requesting.
From what I understand, there's absolutely no paper documents for the mental health advocates. It's everything has been and still is keyed into the CSN network.
Okay, all right. Very good. All right, so we'll wait to hear more on that. And then, of course, we met with Farm Bureau on Thursday evening.
Yeah.
And I thought that went well.
It did. Mhm.
So, anything else? Okay,
No.
all right, I would accept the motion to adjourn.
So move.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carried. We are adjourned. Safe travels, y'all. See you next week.
I'll be on Zoom next week, Dean.